Dear Mr. A&R, we all struggling artists. Realize the world is cold, but we came here to spark it. Swimming little guppies in a sea full of sharks. It's gonna take a miracle to not end up hard.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Inside the Six with Ian and Thomas.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming back.
So we're back. We didn't post an episode last week because there were some scheduling conflicts between the two of us. We couldn't find one time that we were both kind of available to sit down and record. We both had busy schedules, especially Ian. So we decided we would make a little bit of a bigger episode this week. It probably won't be too much longer, but we will be here to cover both week 1 and week 2 of the EPL, the end of the transfer window stuff, and going forward into the season.
It's going to be action-packed.
The beginning of the EPL has kind of started off. I think it's been fantastic so far.
I've enjoyed it.
It's fun to see some of the smaller teams, the newer teams, who are actually getting points, getting a win here and there, getting ties so that they can, move up the table a bit. But we're also seeing some of the bigger teams who we expect to do well, are doing really well, except United, who seems just to be kind of struggling everywhere. I said except United.
Who's that? Who's that? I never heard of her.
Oh. So some small red team that nobody really likes ever.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they've been. They've been a little disappointing, really. Especially, I'm not a United fan, so I don't want to say I had high hopes for them. But I expected to see a lot more from them, especially with the fact that Paul Pogba is now wearing the captain's armband, and the fact that he had a really good World Cup. They had a disappointing start, and you can see it all over Jose Mourinho's face. It's less than he expected as well. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and plus, I mean, there's still a chance, I think by the time this video goes up, there may be like 1 or 2 days left in the European transfer market. And there's still rumors swirling around that Paul Pogba wants to leave Man United for Barcelona.
Wow.
And that could still potentially happen. It would have to happen very fast. But there are rumors that Paul Pogba is unhappy in the Red Devils uniform, go figure, under Jose Mourinho.
Well, that would kind of go ahead.
There's actually quite a few reports that are saying that there's a lot of players who are unhappy under Jose Mourinho right now. Apparently,
the system's not working.
Yeah, apparently he's very easily losing the dressing room. It's the same thing that happened at Chelsea. Yeah,
right.
I mean, you got to pick it up. You can't. I mean, once you lose the dressing room, you're done. Like you're not gonna get it back. You got to be able to keep the team happy, as well as keep the board happy. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. See what happens moving forward. He had a very bad transfer market.
I don't think they did anything.
No, I mean, if there was anything done, it was small stuff. He picked up a player here and there, but I mean that was it. And because of that, even the board is getting kind of mad at him. So I mean, how is that gonna play moving along?
Yeah, and especially since the English transfer window is closed, and the European transfer window is coming to a close. So if Paul Pogba does work something out with Barcelona and he does leave, that's going to leave them very limited options to fill that role. And maybe that's why he's wearing the captain's armband. You know, maybe that's Jose Mourinho's way of saying, "Listen, I want you to stay. I need you to stay. So I'm going to make you. You know, I'm going to make you the team skipper."
Yeah.
I hadn't heard any of that, and it's man, that's something that would definitely put a dent in every plan for Manchester United season.
Yep.
Huge. So yeah,
Now,
well, we'll keep an eye out for that. And if you guys have heard anything, you know, put something in the comments or send us a message. Let us know, man. That's a big chunk of
and
news.
on the other hand, the other Manchester team is actually doing pretty well. Um,
Basically picked up where they left off.
yeah, I mean Manchester, the Manchester City, steam engine is still a rolling,
Oh yeah,
which I'm happy to see. I mean, it's gonna create
I am too.
even more. What's the word I'm looking for?
More excitement. I mean,
Yeah,
they're fun to watch.
there's gonna be some tension between some of the better teams this season, because as I've predicted, Liverpool's doing pretty well. Um, Apparently Jurgen Klopp doesn't think so, but we'll go over that in a second. But
Well,
City's
they're
doing
the only
really
team in the
well.
league right now who has not conceded a goal. So I mean, Allison Becker is the only goalkeeper in the league right now to keep clean sheets.
I mean,
So
for
through week two, we'll see
for
what
being
happens in week three.
the second most expensive goalkeeper in the world, he better be able to do something. But I mean, I expected him to be a fantastic goalkeeper. He had a really good World Cup with Brazil. Definitely broke out a bit. He was a decent goalkeeper with Roma. I think with some bigger name defenders around him, he's gonna perform really well. And he
Yeah,
is.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Liverpool can pull off this season. I think and you touched on it. You know, Jurgen Klopp, may or may not be happy. I don't know that he's unhappy. I just think he thinks, and you and I have already discussed this, that that he wasn't happy with the 2-0 win over Crystal Palace. I don't know that he was unhappy. I just think he feels that the squad could have done more, and I do too. And I'm a Liverpool supporter. I was very happy with the win. And I don't think I think he should probably put it in perspective a little bit. It wasn't that Liverpool didn't do more. I think what happened was Crystal Palace did more than they anticipated. Palace came to play. They weren't goofing around. They were playing football. And I think that kind of maybe put Liverpool back on their heels a little bit. I don't think they expected to see Palace come out of the gates like they did. I didn't. I was excited for it. Wilfred Zaha is a really dynamic player, and on one hand, I'm really glad he stayed with Palace. On another hand, I kind of wish he'd have gone somewhere bigger. But I mean, he look, the name is made. I mean, there's anybody who watches Premier League knows Wilfred Zaha, and they know he plays on the left side for Crystal Palace. But I don't know that Klopp was disappointed. I think he underestimated Palace, and he's maybe disappointed in the fact that their lack of game plan may have cost them something. I mean, they pulled it out. Two pretty good goals, and it's every time Sadio Mane scores a goal, and I'm like, all right, good. We need that. He needs that. So I don't think he's disappointed in their start. I mean, like I said, they've got a +6 goal differential, and they've got 6 points out of 6 points going into week three. So they're doing well. But yeah, I don't think he's disappointed. I think he was surprised, which is unusual for Jurgen Klopp. So,
Yeah.
but Liverpool's off to a good start. They're playing good football. So
Now,
we'll see.
moving back to City, there's one big piece of news that happened very recently. Kevin De Bruyne will be missing
Yes.
3 months. But it doesn't seem to be affecting City very much. They played
I
without
will.
him. Their game
Yeah,
against Huddersfield and blew Huddersfield out of the water. Um,
that was destructive. Yeah. I will kind of disagree with you that it didn't affect them. They got a huge win. What was it? Was it 6-1?
yeah,
And it was six ridiculous goals. I mean, you could just see. I think Huddersfield went down 3-0, and then Huddersfield got one back through our favorite former Wilmington Hammerhead, Glenn Murray, and it was a good goal. No, sorry. I think I got that wrong. That was Brighton. Never mind. That because that was against David De Gea. But I didn't see. I saw fantastic football. I'm not going to take anything away from City in that match, but I think it affected them in the slightest. I mean, seriously, I think it was they were just missing just one small piece in the midfield without Kevin De Bruyne. It didn't hurt them, but I think it affected them. Is that fair?
yeah.
Do you think
I mean,
that's okay? All right.
I mean, losing a player like that, you're gonna have to change up your tactics a bit.
Yeah.
You can't just replace a player like that.
Yeah.
He's just too talented. He knows he's too clinical to the team. He's too important to the team. But I think Pep Guardiola is smart enough to know that. And he's
I think
smart
so.
enough to find a replacement. No, I guess not a replacement. Find a way to change the team up so that they can play without him if they need
Right.
when during the time that they need to. Because
And
he's gonna be out for 3 months. They're gonna
it sounds like the Christmas transfer window. Give or take. But
it'll be
like you
close.
said, yeah. Pep Guardiola is a good manager. He's solid. He's a solid tactician. And just like you said, he found a way. I think coming into week 3, I think we're going to see something a little different from City. They're not going to be. How do I say it? Because they weren't lost. They were definitely not lost. It was still Manchester City, well-oiled machine rolling through opponents' football. But like I said, you could tell there was just that little shadow. I think this week that shadow is going to be gone. I think with the talent that they have on that squad, the depth that they have on that squad, and the fact that they have a master tactician at the helm, I think you're going to see them. They're going to come off the starting block and they're going to play Manchester City football, and it's going to be it's going to be good. It's going to be fun to watch. Who are they playing? I'm looking to see. City is playing.
City, actually, they're playing Wolverhampton at the time that we were recording this.
Yes, as we speak, that match is underway. So we'll see. Wolverhampton. They're.
See,
I'm glad to see them back.
They got a win early on. I believe. Nope. They are. They got a draw. That's what. They had a draw with Everton. Which is. It's not bad.
terrible.
I mean, a team like Everton, usually is near the top of the table. So I'm happy to see Wolverhampton is not struggling their first season back. But other than that, we'll have to see. I will say that going back to the Kevin De Bruyne thing, he will miss City's October 7th clash with Liverpool. So I mean that's a big game for City. Will Pep have to change the tactics even more, to adjust to the big game, the harder game, so that they can still get a win if they need to, or are they going to go for a draw? Um, you never know with the masterful mind of Pep.
Yeah, Pep Guardiola is never going to go for a draw. He's always going to take it to the wall. And Jurgen Klopp is much the same way. I mean, with a game that big, especially that early in the season, what is that, week 4, week 5? Oh, no, it's later than that. Anyway, but, that's a big game for both of those teams. And Pep's not going to go for the draw. I seriously doubt Jurgen Klopp's going to go for a draw that early in the season. He's going to push. He's put his squad together. He wants to start making a run for some hardware. And I think he's got the team that he can really make that push. But without Kevin De Bruyne, I mean, he's a masterful player. We'll see. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
Hopefully he recovers quickly and recovers well, so he can play the football that I enjoy watching him play. I mean, just the fact that he can pick out a runner from 60 yards away and put it on his toes,
which he did several times for Belgium in the World Cup.
Yeah. It's an amazing skill.
It is. They actually, I believe, a fantastic it was like a 60-yard pass, which gave Belgium their third goal over Japan, was from Kevin De Bruyne. Thibaut Courtois rolled it out to De Bruyne, and De Bruyne found, I don't remember who it was.
I remember that goal. I mean, it was seconds.
It was just
insane.
That just happened.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was all Kevin De Bruyne. He saw that long pass and put it on his feet.
Yeah, it was insane. It's fantastic.
The last two of the big five in the Premier League actually played each other in week 2. Chelsea and Arsenal. This is Arsenal's first season without Arsene Wenger. They're playing under Unai Emery. And I don't think they're doing terrible.
They're doing terrible.
It was a close game between. Well, I guess they're not doing too well.
They're in 17th. Yeah, they're 0-2. They have 0 points.
They played big teams. They played Manchester City and got a 2-0 loss.
But with the amount of skill, the amount of money they have in their starting 11, to start a season 0-2 is not Arsenal football. I'm by no means an Arsenal fan, but that's not Arsenal football, and it's a little disappointing. But I mean, it is what it is. And that was a pretty big shakeup. To lose their 22-year manager. Got a new guy. The boat's been rocked a little bit. They got to steady themselves a little bit. I'm not hanging my head in sorrow for Arsenal right now. It's still too early for that. I think once they find their legs and they kind of get their rhythm under new management. I mean, they've had a little bit of time, but you got to understand, a lot of those players were in the World Cup. So there was some time off, after the World Cup ended, a little bit of rest time. So maybe not a full squad training to begin the season. and then the fact they've got a new manager. So I'll give them some time. I'll give them a couple more weeks. I'll give them till week 5 to start really rolling again. And at that point we're going to know a little bit more about the dynamics of the changes that have been made in that dressing room and in that squad. So we'll see. But yeah, right now, I don't think in my career as a football fan, especially a Premier League fan, have I ever seen Arsenal in literally one goal out of the relegation zone ever. Of course,
I don't think it'll last long.
No, I don't think it will either, and I hope it doesn't.
I think their draw against City and Chelsea kind of, they weren't prepared for big games like that yet. With the new manager,
right.
I think moving forward they'll be fine. They'll pick up points, they'll pick up wins, and they'll move up the table again.
I think so. Yeah, this early in the season, it's still an embryonic table right now. It's so early. The stats that we're looking at are their live stats, but there's only one match so far from week 3 has been played.
It's being played right now.
It's being played as we're recording.
Yeah.
So it's still very early, crazy early to make any predictions. And yeah, like you said, hopefully, in the next couple of weeks they can put the pieces together and find their rhythm. So we'll see.
Yep. And Chelsea, for me, I'm very happy with how they've gone.
Sure.
They started 2-0.
They're +4 with goals. So
yeah, +3, I believe.
They're 6-2.
+4.
Yep. 6-4, 2 against.
4. It was a 3-0 win against Huddersfield, not 2. I thought it was 2 for some reason. But sorry ball's working. The new that's what it's called. That's what Maurizio Sarri calls it. He calls it sorry ball. His tactics are different, and he says his work with Chelsea is not perfect right now. He says Chelsea's nowhere near perfect. He's nowhere near where he wants them.
Well, and I'll accept that. I really will. For the same reason that I'll accept what Arsenal's going through right now. I mean, it's the same things. A lot of his starting 11 were in the World Cup. They took some time off, and it's a new set of parameters. Sorry ball is new to these guys. Sorry ball. I'm just not going to get used to that. That's still going to be funny to me, no matter week 37. That's going to be funny, because I'm 12. But
that's true. That's true.
And the fact that he's smart enough to be able to recognize the fact that they're 2 weeks into a brand new season, and there's room for improvement. If it comes up to week 37, week 38, and he says we're exactly where we want to be, I think he's probably not the right manager. You have to always be looking for a way to improve. So I think it's very wise for him to respect the fact that Chelsea's not where I want them to be. I haven't had enough time. Sure, I will grant you that. It's extremely early. Again, it's an embryonic table. So, there's no way he's had the time to put his tactics fully into place and get this squad up and running. Eden Hazard hasn't even played in the season, so I don't think. I could be wrong. I think he's ready for week 3.
I'm sure he has. I think he played against Arsenal.
Okay, all right, yeah. So, but still, was he in full training before that? Because he had a pretty long run in the World Cup. So for Sarri to say, I need a little bit more time, bro, you got it, man. Take it. We'll give you some time. It's Chelsea. He's got a great squad. He just needs a little bit of time again to find the rhythm.
You're right. He did not. Eden Hazard has not played yet.
Yeah, because I thought they made the announcement that he would be available for week 3. Finally, I think he was just resting.
Yeah, but I mean, even after all these rumors that he might be going to Spain, to either Real Madrid or Barcelona. Couldn't think of the name there. He's still at Chelsea, and he's come out and said, it didn't happen. I'm ready for this season. I'm gonna play with everything I have for Chelsea, and for Maurizio Sarri. Let's get this season going. I mean,
right.
He came out and said, the transfer didn't happen. It's not gonna happen. It's too late. Maybe next year, or maybe next transfer window.
Yeah, we'll see.
Moving forward, which of the, I guess, smaller teams has surprised you the most so far?
Has surprised me. I watched the Cardiff City match the other day. Cardiff, Newcastle. Cardiff. It was a 0-0 draw. It should have been a 10-10 draw. It wasn't that surprising. It wasn't that exciting. It was a good game. I got a little frustrated about the 60th, 70th minute, and it's something that I see a lot in what I call lower table teams. They start getting frustrated, so they go more direct, and it's long ball after long ball after long ball, and they stop playing football. I did see that. However, Cardiff had a pretty substantial attack, and Etheridge, who's the goalkeeper for Cardiff, who, as a side note, this is Ian's happy corner, one of the little thingies I got for today, is the first Filipino player in the Premier League ever. Stopped a penalty kick in week 1 and stopped a penalty kick in week 2. The penalty kick he stopped in week 2 would have been the game winner for Newcastle. It was 90 plus 2. There were 6 minutes of stoppage time, and it was right at the 90th minute or shortly thereafter. And there was I forget who he was, handled the ball in the box. He just kind of went to the ground and his arm, and he made it was in the box. It was a good call. I have no issues with the penalty call from Craig Pawson, but Newcastle stepped to the spot, and it was not the best penalty kick I've ever seen, but Etheridge was on point for the second week in a row. So this cat's already making a name for himself. I thought they were exciting to watch. A very high-speed game. I'm interested to see what they can do. It kind of an air of Leicester City a couple of seasons ago. They came away with their first point in the Premier League. They lost their match week 1, but they came up with a 0-0 draw week 2, so they got their first point in the Premier League in 20-something years. But they were exciting. And I thought they had the better of Newcastle for most of the game. So I'm like I said, I'm really excited. I'm surprised. I don't know if surprised is fair. I am excited to see what they can do, and I hope they keep doing. Fulham are still Fulham. They've got a -4 differential week 2, 0 points out of 2 matches. And Wolverhampton's, they got 2 What do
Got
they
a
got?
draw and a loss.
Got a draw and a loss. And then they're playing City today, so we'll see. As of live standings right now, it's still a draw, so we'll see. But those are the three up and coming.
I think the team that is surprising me the most, at least for me, is actually Bournemouth. I mean, they came out of the gates running. They came into the season with the intent to push, for high table standings.
Yep.
Maybe, repeat of what Burnley did last year, getting some Europa League. But as of now, they have a +3 goal differential, and they've only conceded 1. So they've scored 4 goals and have conceded 1. For what we call lower table teams, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Watford's in the top 4 right now.
Exactly. I mean, Watford, I believe they're in 4th place.
They are.
They're in 4th place, with Manchester United in 9th.
And Arsenal in 17th.
Yeah, well, we already discussed what happened there.
Well, yeah, it's and that's one of the things, and you and I have both said this many, many times. It's one of the things about this league that is so exciting, because these teams have the opportunity, even though they may not have the payroll. You look at a team like Fulham, their starting 11 is substantially less than one player on Manchester City. The payroll is substantially different, but that doesn't mean they don't have the chance.
Look at Leicester a couple years ago.
Exactly.
I mean, they came up, and from nowhere, out of nowhere, they win the league.
Yep. Yeah.
And
that was
incredibly exciting. They're still in the league. They're pushing for points. They're pushing for top table. It's this league can do anything.
Right.
You think you've got the top team set in the last couple weeks. There's nothing gonna happen. Anything can happen.
Right.
Which is why we love it. So moving on to week 3, we're definitely gonna watch how teams take their first 2 games in and change their tactics, change how they play, change formation. It's all gonna start coming into fruition in the next couple weeks of the season. I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to.
I am too.
To watch the next couple weeks and be able to just watch football. I mean, football's back. It's a lovely time.
And this is real football. I was actually mentioned to my wife the other day. I just thought it was funny that the NFL is still in preseason. At this point, I think they still have 2 or 3 weeks of preseason before the actual NFL season starts. And Las Vegas has already put odds on Super Bowl winners. They're not even playing yet. I mean, how predictable is a league where when the season hasn't even started yet, and you can already place odds on who's going to win the championship game? That doesn't happen for another 6 months. And to me, that's incredibly boring. What's the point? With Premier League football, La Liga, Serie A, you don't have that. It is there's a mild particle of predictability. I mean, you have Manchester City, Liverpool. We talk about Arsenal and their little hiccup right now, and that's fine. Chelsea. You understand, when they come up against certain teams, you got a pretty good idea who's going to win, but that's not guaranteed. I don't know anything about NFL, so I'm talking out of the side of my face right now when I say, when the Redskins play the Jets, the Redskins are going to win. I don't even know if they play each other. I have no idea. Honestly, I don't care. So you can put that in the comments if you want, but I'll probably just breeze past it. You don't have that in Premier League or in top flight football around Europe. Um, it's got that a really exciting level of unpredictability, mixed with the expectation. And because you look at it, a team like Manchester City, they come up against Fulham. You think, I got a pretty good idea who's going to win. But when Fulham turns around and scores 5 goals on City, you're like, oh my god, you know that is so exciting to me. It's insane how exciting that is. So and that's what I love about this sport. Um, you know, so yeah,
I think.
I'm done.
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, it because you never know who's gonna win the league. You just don't.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
which is why we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But I think with that, we are out of time for this episode.
I have one little cool thing, Ian's happy corner. It's not the happiest. It was just really cool. I was watching the Cardiff Newcastle game. Cardiff has a player named Murphy. His name's either I think that one's Jacob. No, Joshua. Anyway, there's a set of twins, Jacob and Joshua Murphy. One plays for Cardiff and one plays for Newcastle. And in their week 2 matchup at Cardiff was the first ever competitive match where they did not play on the same team between their two teams. It was the first time they were both on the same pitch wearing not the same colors. And I just thought that was cool. They were born 2 minutes apart. I forget how old they are. They're still rather young. And both of them, it was if they were both wearing the same jersey, you'd never tell them apart.
They could have switched
one
jerseys
was wearing,
and played.
Yeah, they could. But one was wearing Cardiff blue and the other was wearing Newcastle stripes. But it was the first ever competitive meeting between the two twins, and I just thought that was really cool. So, and then the fact that Etheridge, who's the goalkeeper for Cardiff, is the first ever Filipino player in the Premier League ever, and he's got 2 PK stops in 2 matches. So, really excited to see what pans out for that. But yeah, I just thought it was cool with the twins playing against each other. It was kind of it was actually it was a head-to-head matchup between when the one came on for Cardiff or came on for Newcastle. It was a head-to-head matchup between him and his brother down the flank. It was kind of neat.
Yeah.
So, but that's my happy corner.
And then with that, I have
wrap it up.
A few pieces of news just to go over. It's the wrap up news.
Drop some knowledge, brother. Drop some knowledge.
Check out our t-shirt shop in the description. This design is still in there. It's gonna be available for a couple more months, probably till the end of October. And I've been talking with Ian, and what we're going to do is that all of the money that we raise for this shirt is going to go towards my stepmother, his brand new wife. That's the whole reason our scheduling was kind of off. Is my man over here got married. But
sorry,
that
ladies.
money's going to be donated to her cancer fund. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to personally match however much we donate, and donate it to Wigs for Kids, the Cancer Research Foundation, however much it is. I haven't decided where it's gonna go. I'll probably do some research, figure something out, and we'll definitely make sure to keep you guys in the loop on what's going on with that as well. I felt I didn't want to just, bring money in and just, obviously keep it in the family. I wanted to be able to donate and help the cancer cause, because, I mean, it's terrible. It sucks. And the fact that we are seeing it firsthand, I guess secondhand now, it definitely opens our eyes. So, I mean, other than that, I'll leave the rest of the outro to you.
So
As we
buy lots
usually
of
do.
T-shirts, y'all. Yeah. So if there's something that we're missing, Thomas mentioned, breast cancer research, wigs for kids is a really cool. I guess it's a charity, but what they do is they provide low or no cost wigs to kids going through chemo. So they're not going to school bald. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah.
If you
buy lots of
Do you
T-shirts.
have any ideas of charities
Yeah,
as well?
share 'em
Put
with
them
us.
in the comments, and I'll definitely do my research on them, see what's going on with them, and we'll look into it.
Yeah, share them with us. So, but we really appreciate that. Check out the T-shirt shop. All that information is in the links are below there. The T-shirt shop, the sticker shop. Check those things out. Those are really cool. We got some new designs coming in the future. We're still working on some stuff. So check out the ones we got and keep an eye out for new ones coming down the road. Big thank you to Thomas. Thomas is our producer, editor, director, and I really appreciate what he does for all this stuff, especially because it's barely dawn right now, and we're up doing this, and he worked late last night. So thanks to Thomas for all the stuff that you do with this stuff. Good job, buddy. Keep it up. And special thanks to our good friend Macrophonic MC. He lets us use his super cool music for our intro and outro. Check out Macrophonic MC. He drops some serious lyric, man. But he's family, and we want to support him. We appreciate his support of us. So check out that stuff. I think that's about it. Am I missing something? I don't think so.
Nope.
So thanks for tuning in, guys. Enjoy week 3, and we'll be back very soon. Now that all the other stuff has kind of died down, we're back to at least a reasonable facsimile of normality. So we'll see you next time, and thanks for tuning in to Inside the Six with Ian and Thomas. I'm Ian. That's Thomas.
Thomas.
Later.
Thanks, guys.
Dear Mr. A&R, we all struggling artists. Realize the world is cold, but we came here to spark it. Swimming little guppies in a sea full of sharks. It's gonna take a miracle to not end up harmed.